Hi everybody, welcome back to BI Navigation. In this video we'll start to look through the PBICS that generates the financial data and creates all the visuals and all of that. We won't create it from scratch because that would take too long, and a basic ability in Power BI is kind of assumed through these videos. But how it would work is we'll transform data, and if I bring that window over, we can see all our lookup tables coming through from the various spreadsheets. Here are the companies, here are the departments, here are the streams, here are the reports. Remember, this report page is the key page to drive everything forward. And here's our around thousands. I will talk about the integrity test at a future point, but let's just move off slightly and talk about the date table. You could have a date table that you've generated in Excel as part of the structure, and the original version of this did have that, but that's something else to maintain, and kind of not the way forward. You want it to look after itself. So there is a date generator out there. If you Google enterprise DNA, you'll find it on that site, and it's a piece of M code which will generate everything we need. From our perspective, we have some key dates from our spreadsheet structure. From our structure spreadsheet. If you recall, we've got what's the current month end, what's the financial year end, and what's the budget year end. The date generator here will look at those to determine what the financial year is. And it will also look at the data, the actual data and the budget data, and determine how far forward we need to go. If let's say we're at calendar year end and we're in November 2021 now, then we need the calendar to go forward to 2022 because we'll be preparing budgets for that year. And we'll also have a start date as well, which will be the earliest date in your actuals. So it'll never generate dates which are kind of out of range. It'll always keep it tight and keep it relevant. The holidays that we keyed in the structure table, that they come through to here, and then they're used in the date generator to determine business days or working days. So that's that. The end result of that is a dates table. If you need any more advice on this dates table, then please get in contact. So we now have companies, departments, streams, reports, and dates. So they're all our lookup tables. I'm going to just hide those away for a minute, and I'm going to hide the date generator away. And we then had, didn't we, from our financial data tables, two files, one for actual, one for budgets. I'll talk about the space values one in a separate video, but just assume we've got budgets, actuals, and another table for the moment. Then we only want one fact table. So we have a number of choices in Power BI or in Power Query. We could append these here, and that would work. And if you've got a small set of ledgers or data not going back too many years, I'd advise that as being the best approach. If you've got actual data going back a long way, and you've got, let's say, two files here, MA actual current month, MA actual history, then you don't necessarily want to go and get your history every time. And in that instance, we need to use, we need to set the history table, if this were the history table, to exclude in report refresh, but enable load. That means it won't refresh every time you go and get the data, but the data will stay there. What then happens is, what then happens in the DAX piece or in the Power BI piece is these tables are appended with a union query, and we'll go and look at that next. So here we can see the union query. In simple terms, you could say union MA actual, MA budget, MA underscore space values. As I said, we'll talk about the space values at a later point. But sometimes that puts the columns in the wrong order or puts the wrong data in the columns. If you go through your tables, and these are quite short tables, and use select columns, here we've got select columns, the MA actual table and all the columns in order. Here we've got the MA budget table and all the columns in order, and so on. If you use that as your union, then you won't go wrong and everything will fall into the right columns. Moving off that and into our structure, we're then back to where we were early on in the discussion process, where once I've applied the relationships of 1 to 1, we've got our dates coming back to the posting date in the ledgers. We've got our business unit number coming back to our business unit number from the ledgers, our department number coming back to our department number from the ledgers, our stream, actual or budget, coming to the stream in the ledgers, and we've got our report line coming through, our report key coming through, mapping through to the ledgers. There we have a pure star schema, which enables us to write formulae which filter the data in here by whatever we slice in here. So we can pick a range of dates, any or all companies, any or all departments, a stream of actual or whatever, and pick the report, and everything will filter down and produce the numbers we need from here. Okay, thanks for watching. In the next video we'll go and look at the line number and how DAX calculates the amounts that appear in each line. Thanks for watching.